Welcome to my Me Time Monday wellness hack on how to beat caregiver burnout with 7 wellness hacks. This is a Me Time Monday wellness hack, which is part of our self-care in 7 minutes video series. I'm Sherri, gerontologist, author of Me Time Monday, and CEO of the Caregiving Club. Burnout is where external factors are controlling how we cope and feel rather than we have internal locus of control. It is a stress response where our reservoir of resiliency is depleted, and we often see caregivers experience burnout after hours, days, weeks, months, or even years of never getting a break to focus on self-care. The way to beat burnout is to take back the control. We cannot control what happens in the world or with our loved one, but we can control our response to it. A Care Wellbeing Index study showed 72 to 80% of family caregivers suffer from emotional health issues and burnout. It is important for caregivers to remember it is a marathon, not a sprint. World-class athletes can run a 100-yard dash in 9.1 seconds, but cannot keep that pace up for 26 miles. In order to maintain health and wellness during the caregiving journey, you have to learn the signs of burnout and then personalize ways to put out those flames. Now, the caregiver health study I worked on 18 years ago showed that about 85% of caregiving women are in a downward health spiral. And studies show women express more anxiety about their caregiving situation, while men who are caregivers tend to experience more depression. Both are results of burnout and the lack of control a caregiver feels. So, how do you know if you are burned out? Well, there are both physical and emotional signs of burnout. For instance, physical signs of burnout can include muscle aches, back pain, headaches, fatigue and exhaustion, a lowered immunity where you have more frequent colds or the flu, insomnia or disrupted sleep, high blood pressure, and sometimes, about 10% of caregivers are turning to bad habits like drinking more alcohol, smoking, or taking prescription drugs to cope. Now, the emotional signs of burnout can include things like sadness, depression, crying bouts, anger, irritability, and outbursts, finding it hard to concentrate and to focus, having more boredom or no enthusiasm for anything in life, being cynical, disillusioned, or feeling hopelessness, grief and guilt, which are very common, and loneliness. And burnout can be exacerbated by other health deficiencies that caregivers typically experience, such as a lack of sleep and not getting enough restorative sleep, which leaves you always feeling fatigued, not moving or, walking. So maybe physically lifting or cleaning for your loved one, but not really moving in a purposeful way. So you're not getting enough oxygen to the blood through circulation that is found by doing mindful cardiovascular aerobic activity like walking for a few minutes every day. And emotional burnout is sometimes called compassion fatigue. We take on the feelings of our loved ones who feel pain, fear, loneliness, or despair. So burnout is when we cannot take it anymore and we either have an emotional meltdown or we feel too overwhelmed to go on. It is a survival warning that your body cannot handle any more stress, and essential functions of health are in jeopardy, such as lowered immunity, cognitive overload and brain fog, a racing heart rate, and frayed nerves that can lead to irritability. All of this is starting to happen. What we need to do is bring your stress response back to balance so that it does not impact your health and mental well-being. So, here are 7 wellness hacks to help. Our first hack is most Americans are suffering from what is called nature deficit disorder. It is a result of spending 95% of our lives indoors, and we need the 5 senses to engage in nature, and getting outside even a few minutes a day helps. It has to do with neuroscience and how brain health is tied to multisensory stimuli. In my Me Time Monday book, I write about how a neuroscientific and social relationship with nature is what our modern brains are at times in conflict with our ancient brains when we live mostly in nature environments. So for instance, flowers are tied to our ancient brains when food was more abundant in the spring, when we saw flowers blooming, and seeing these flowers meant food sources would be easier to find, and this signaled less stress. more pleasure, and increased happiness. Being in nature just 7 to 10 minutes a day reduces oxidative stress in children and adults that lead to inflammation and chronic stress. Vision health is tied to brain health, and the old brain sees things first. And so things like having plants in your home or office will reduce your anxiety by up to 60% because the ancient brain is seeing those plants and that greenery that means life and connecting back to nature. Now, our second wellness hack is to take a break and experience awe or wonder. Even God needed a break, 7 days, maximum waiting period until you get a respite break, even after a few moments. So awe is a natural inflammatory, and studies show it reduces high blood pressure, modulates heart rates, and slows breathing. It is the moments of pause when you do something that takes your breath away, like watching a beautiful sunrise or sunset, that resets your physical and especially emotional turmoil. You see things bigger than yourself and realize there is a higher power. These pauses help refresh your soul and also give you stamina to keep going. Think about, when you push yourself too hard and don't take a break, it backs up on you. And in this case, it starts to burn you out. But when you get these few minutes to do something just for you, there is a sense of gratitude and a new attitude in getting back to your caregiving goal. Our wellness hack number 3 is about blue wellness. Now, water is a natural part of our health and well-being routine. Whether it is taking a shower or bath to cleanse the body, but also cleanse the mind of toxic feelings, you can wash away the bad from the day, and taking a warm shower an hour before bed will also help improve your sleep. Sometimes just washing your hands under soapy water can give you that sense of healing and calm. And we also know that 50% of U.S. adults are dehydrated. By ensuring you drink enough water during the day, you help alleviate some of the physical aches and the emotional wear and tear of the day by flushing your system of the strain and the toxins that you take in. The sun has an amazing ability to heal us. Getting into nature, particularly to feel the sun on your face, improves your mood because it gives you a boost to one of your happiness hormones that I write about in my book, which is serotonin. You get more serotonin through sunshine, but also eating foods rich in vitamin D, which is known as the sunshine vitamin. And since the sun is a key part of your circadian rhythm, you need to pay attention to light and dark cycles for better sleep. You will have better metabolism if you eat during daylight hours, and getting at least a few minutes of sunshine when you first wake up boosts your mood for the entire day and can even help alleviate some of the negative feelings we might have otherwise experience. So our wellness hack number 4 is let the sunshine in. Now, sometimes caregivers believe no one can care for their loved one as well as they can. And this is 100% true. But would you rather risk your own health and not be there at all for your loved one? Or if you can take a break every now and then and be able to finish that caregiving marathon, your choice is what we're looking at. But we want to be able to finish that race or that journey. Our 5th wellness hack then is how to ask for and accept help. It is not always easy. Most friends want to help, but when they say, "What can I do?" you don't have a list ready to give them. But being mindful of accepting help makes you feel less alone in your caregiving journey. So you can plan activities during the week that feed your soul. Maybe it's getting your hair done. Maybe it's having coffee with a friend. Maybe it's playing just 9 holes of golf, or whatever is needed to avoid that burnout and to be the best caregiver for your loved one and for yourself. As Maya Angelou said, self-care is not selfish, it is self-full. So our wellness hack number 5 is ask for and accept help. Now, wellness hack number 6 is about your social health as a caregiver. Kind of relates to our last wellness hack, but this one's a little different. This is not just about asking for and accepting the help. This is your social health. A Harvard study said the best thing you can do to live healthier, happier, and longer is to have a circle of quality relationships and at least one confidant you can share things with who will always have your back. A lot of caregivers have found some friends may drop off since you are not as available or struggling with the emotions of caregiving. This is a natural pruning of our relationships, and you should not feel bad, but glad about it. You only want quality in your life, and sometimes when we struggle, we find out who our true friends are. Caregivers often pull back on social activity, but ensuring that each week you connect with a true blue friend, whether in person to get the benefit of oxytocin, which is one of your happiness hormones that you get by bonding in person with someone, or even virtually, just to hear a voice over the telephone or see a face on a video chat that makes you feel valued and supported. It is critical to plot these social engagements into your caregiving calendar. And our final and seventh wellness hack is how to find your flow as a caregiver. Now, this is not the surf fun Zen master go with the flow that you've often heard about. This is actually a theory in positivity psychology where you're looking for passion plus purpose. Olympic athletes and professional athletes call this being in the zone. And it's where you combine your energy, your effort, and enjoyment. And this is something that actually gives you happiness feeling, and you can do it in just 7-minute spurts. So burnout can often lead to boredom or languishing, where you cannot engage in happy activities that you used to love. Also, caregiving is a multitasking role, but that defeats flow and ultimately creates caregiver burnout. When you replace multitasking with flow, you are focused on what you enjoy, not what you're supposed to do. With flow, you have no anxiety because you have internal locus of control. With flow, you have no depression because you believe you can do it, and it is something that you enjoy doing. Flow is also about sensory connection, so it can be reading a book and getting lost in the story where you visualize the characters. It can be cooking and smelling that favorite scent that brings back those wonderful memories. It can be gardening or painting or knitting and feeling the tactile sense of connection to nature and to life. Or taking a walk in nature and listening to birdsong or the rustle of the wind in the trees, taking a joyride, and just enjoying the beauty of the day and all of your different surroundings. Simple tasks that can be done in 7-minute sprints, and you don't need to be completed. You don't need to finish that book or finish that knitting or, finish that gardening. You just start it and spend little 7 minutes every day or as often as you can, giving yourself something you love and enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this Me Time Monday wellness hack. Every Monday, I will have a new self-care in 7 minutes video. You can find more information in my book, Me Time Monday, the weekly wellness plan to find balance and joy for a busy life, or visit MeTimeMonday.com or CaregivingClub.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our Caregiving YouTube channel to get all the self-care in 7 minutes videos every Monday. Take care and stay well.